ladies and gentlemen, David Boreanaz. Look at the cameras going. I feel like we got to take a selfie later.
Don't get it on your own! Okay, I wasn't recording then.
Afterwards. Is this your first New York Comic-Con?
It is, yeah.
What?
Really neat. Thanks for having me. This is a special moment to be here in the New York area and time, and to be here with all of you. So thank you for coming out on this day and spending time with me. And it's great. It's really cool. I see some people dressed up as bears to the left. Let's take a moment to say hello to them as they grab their seats.
All right, so you're a fixture from San Diego Comic-Con. Who's seen him there at San Diego?
Oh, okay. Not the many. Wow. Okay. We don't get out to the west too much, huh?
Right.
You're like staying on the East Coast.
That's why you're here.
I think that's fantastic. I'm from the East Coast, born in Buffalo and Philadelphia. Yeah. I love the weather and the people. It's great. Upstate. Yeah, right. That's where it all went down.
Did it?
And that's where it all happened.
Ithaca College. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Bombers. Ithaca. Okay. Woo. NYC. What's any film students out there today? No? Aspiring script writers? Aspiring actors and actresses? Aspiring, I just want to be happy people?
There you go.
That's the best answer so far. This is going to be fun. Wait, can you just give me 1 second? Your glasses are very foggy and I need to clean them.
I'm sorry.
I have a
They were
big
steaming up. I was standing in front of that picture.
It's no. Let me do this. I have a. My mother taught me this one. I like to clean glasses.
Women who want their glasses.
But you see the world a whole differently. I mean, when these get done, it's like, wow, I didn't know I can see. So I'm going to do these really nicely for you. You can continue asking me questions as I clean these glasses for you. That's a good job I'm doing on these.
For those,
this is one of my fetishes is cleaning glasses.
oh
Put
my.
that one down in the resume. Okay, let's test them out. It's really me.
I'm cured. Oh. All right, so for those who miss San Diego, do you have an indelible moment from all your years that you spent there? And you were there quite a bit, right?
Yeah, I remember the first time we went there, we went with the show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Small show. And I remember going the first year there, and the whole cast got on this bus, and we traveled down to San Diego, and we were all excited. I think I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt. I have pictures. The hair was much higher. It was crazy, man. But I remember the floor was more about the love of comic books and these characters that were revered so much, and it wasn't so much about the pop and the marketing and the campaigns of selling anything that you can. It's become a big business now. So to see that firsthand and walk the floor and was pretty remarkable to be a part of that. And the following years, I would go back and meet the people that were behind the scenes. And one particular woman, she was so sweet. She's like, oh, I remember when you first started and how great she was and how it grew over years. It was just fantastic to see that growth, but it was a little different. It was a little different back then.
Can you remember an awkward moment with a fan?
Opera?
Awkward. Awkward, very awkward.
Want me to sing? Oh, no. Woo-hoo. Create a new one, right? That's true. No, I didn't have many awkward moments. I was amazed at the amount of outfits that I saw walking around, and to their bravery, I would say. Thank you. And good work. But no real No, nothing like that would stand out, and like nothing crazy. I'm still thinking did I answer your question?
It'll come to you.
It will.
We're going to get back to the old days. We're going to start with the good stuff. We had a big premiere last night. We're going to talk about that. But first, we want to run a clip. So, RP, let's run that first clip. I have a feeling we're going to be hearing a lot about this concussion. It's not going to go away, is it?
Well, it's obviously something that is of severity for him, and what these guys go through, PTSD, brain issues, concussions that will kind of linger on. When we came back at the beginning of the second season, we're kind of 6 months ahead. What these guys do is Tier 1 operators and special forces. I'd like to break it down a little bit more simpler since we are at a Comic-Con. I consider these guys true superheroes. And I say that because there's no green screen, there's no fake blood. These guys get up and they do missions and operations to keep our country safe and people safe. And if they make a wrong turn, they're dead. They're gone. So I consider them superheroes in the context of what we're dealing with here, and they save lives, they save issues, and they go and do a job. So when you're dealing with these types of individuals and people and you're portraying them, there's a big balance between, their injuries and what they do when they're out in the field and when they come home, and how they balance that and how they balance their minds, because they're always going. They're like an engine that just can't stop, and they roar and they roar and they roar, and they're 150%, and when they come home, the brakes bring them back to 20%, and their minds are still going. And I asked one of them the other day, I said, well, what do you do? I mean, like, it's hard for them to function. And he said, they get bored. There's a sense of boredom that comes into their world, and then the cracks start to happen. And inside the cracks, they start to lose it a little bit. They don't have a strong sense of themselves. They don't have good relationships. They compartmentalize. They become very depressed. And they need to get back out because that's their drug of choice. That's addiction, that rush. So it's intense, but I always say that with the injuries and the major issues that they do have, the one way they do deal with it is humor. And I've known on this show is whether it's cracking jokes about Tommy Boy, why someone's been shot or is injured and they're taking a brother back to a Black Hawk, they find relief in humor. It's a fascinating journey that I'm on with this show, and looking at the character and from where he is now, being a leader and someone who is suffering from these brain injuries and concussions, will play a role going down the line. And we'll see the cracks in Jason as he progresses, especially in the first 5 episodes of SEAL Team, and we'll see how the other members come together, how he can bring it back up and go back and do what he does. But the first 5 episodes are going to be pretty emotional, I would say. Do
you remember what your perception was of the SEALs when you first started the job? I remember my pop culture reference was that Michael Biehn frickin' Charlie Sheen movie from 1990.
Okay, wait, that was a badass movie, first of all. That was pretty classic, right?
Michael Biehn, I mean, is that...
You mean like the paint face and like...
Totally.
No, we don't do any paint facing. No.
What was your perception of the SEALs?
Well, I have to be dead honest. I was not very knowledgeable of the Special Forces and what they could portray. And when the pilot came to me, and the first time the pilot came around, and I was thinking about doing it, and then I decided not to because of some logistic issues. And I always thought the Marines were the best of the best, the first ones in, and it just so happens they're very good, but they're not the first ones in. I mean, Army, Delta Force, Special Forces. So I was sitting there having a glass of wine with my wife, and I said, wow, man, these SEALs. And she looked at me and said, you do realize what they do? And I said, yeah, they're just guys. They're more than guys, okay? They're pretty much badasses. They're elite top forces. So I didn't know much about them, and my wife was the one who's over a glass of wine was telling me that this is an intense endeavor for you to take on. So we had talked about that, and so that was my first perception of them, so to speak.
In last night's episode, there was a moment where there's an explosion and lots of fire. I have to imagine there's a lot of scenes like that. Have you gotten hurt in the first season?
I was struggling with a little bit of a knee and shoulder issue as the season progressed because it's so physically demanding. When we shot the pilot, the character jumps off the bow of a ship. Now, I had a 7mm wetsuit on, and I had real gear on. There was no flotation devices. And I looked at my stunt person, who was a Tier 1 operator, and I said, I'd like to do that jump. He said, there's no way you're doing that jump because you'll probably break your neck. I said, okay, you can do the jump. So he does the jump, makes me look really cool. So then I proceed to go down in the little boat, and I replace the guy who's in the water. I get in the water with all my gear. There's another person in the water, and people are firing at us. The enemy's coming in. So I dunk my head, thinking that's going to be a good idea. And as I come up, I'm already grasping for air. My helmet's like all over the place. And I start going for the other character because I'm trying to get him safe to get the other SEAL boat that's picking us up. Well, the SEAL boat that's supposed to pick us up misses us. And now I'm starting to struggle, and I feel my body cramping up. This wetsuit's sucking me like a python. I'm like, I am going to be fucking dead in about 5 minutes. Excuse my language. And in my head, there was a moment where I said, why did you do this job? You just finished Bones for 12 years. And now you possibly could be on that examination table. Yes, you're Bones. And I'm like, why? And I remember saying, help. Help. I was really screaming, help. So the stunt guy, who was in his formation at the front bow of this buoy, was like ready to come get me. And I'm like, dude, I'm dying here. You got to get me out. He's not doing anything. He's doing nothing. So I said, fuck him. I got to go right. So then I start swimming, drinking the river water. I mean, hepatitis C now is in my fucking brain. The SEAL boat comes back, and at this point I've had a panic attack. As they're pulling me up over the small boat, slam me into the boat, hit my nose, and just added to the Roman nose that I have already, which my little girl pointed out to me 2 days ago. She said, Daddy, you have a Roman nose. I said, I like my nose. But it got damaged worse. I'm bleeding, and I'm like, God, get me out of this shit. Get me out. And I'm feeling like I'm getting sucked in. Having a panic attack. I'm like, okay, fine. They take the boat back to the camera boat. I'm like, we got to get you back to the set and check you out. I said, no. I said, nope. Got my composure. I said, let's fucking go. Let's go. Let's fucking go. I want to shoot the scene. There's that adrenaline rush. I got over it. I was like, fucking, let's go. Bleeding. I mean, I feel like a badass now. And the actual Tier 1 operator, Mark Owen, who was 13 deployments in, was looking at me. I just see this shadowy character from the other boat. And he was like a Tom Clancy novel, man. He's like looking. And he just slowly turns and walks away. And I go, this is gonna be fun, man. Okay, it's cool. And ironically, during the scene, AJ and Neil, who were protecting shooting, they said, while I was saying, help, they're like, wow, man, he's a real good actor. Shit, what's he doing, man? And there's no lie. And Neil's like, no, man, I think he's fucking drowning. So that's our joke of the pilot, but that was my near death. And then I come to find out a week later, there was a fucking alligator in the water. No one tells you that because they don't give a shit and it's a pilot. and they have insurance.
I think you just said this is hard. It's hard.
Hard work, man.
It's hard.
Hard work. It's hard work.
All right, I know this is a very much a chick question, but I'm going to ask it. When you started the show, did you obsess a little bit about what you should look like as a SEAL team member? Like, you're going to have to work out. I know they're going to make me take my shirt off, so I got to start going to the gym. I mean, what kind of did these thoughts go in your mind?
No, I didn't. No. But we do have a pit. I call it the dirt pit, where you get ready. I think Jason's like Pigpen, man. I got to be dirty. I got to feel the dirt. I got to like roll around in the dirt. I got like dirty makeup, dirt, cuts, scars. You know, I got to work. Everything's got to be aged in for me. So I got to feel like my feet under the ground and feel the character and really go out there and play that rough messiness of it, which I love to do. And those that come and play with us on SEAL Team, we throw them in the dirt, kick them around a little bit. And they're like, oh shit, what the hell is this, man? But, you know, I play ice hockey, so I consider that a sport that allows me to be flexible on the ice, fast with the game, maintaining control of the puck, possessing the puck, skating, shooting on blades like a badass warrior. So I assimilate that to teams and a team and like a Bravo team and these guys and leading one and making sure the goal is to get target, making sure that the puck goes in the net. So that's my workout.
Well, what about the shirt off part? So
when I get to the locker room and strip down. I think Max is more the, Max, who's great. He's fucking classic, man. We were season 2, the first day of shooting, and I don't know, they did some kind of Instagram story of Max, and his shirt's off, and he's like doing this thing. Like, I'm like, what are you doing, man? So I showed up at rehearsal for the second day, and we're all in the team room. We're doing a briefing. So I walk in and I see, and this is typical season 2. I see everybody's perfectly made up with makeup and their hair's all coiffed. And it's like the season 2 kind of thing. I'm like, guys, what is going on here? So I proceed to strip my shirt off and pretend to be Max. I guess you had to be there. Anyhow, you can see it on Instagram, story at cbs.com. I did take my shirt off, if that's what you're asking. Yes.
We've got one more clip to wet your whistle. Arpy? I mean, you can't die because you're the star of the show. That would ruin it.
Welcome to television.
Yeah. If there's any feedback you get from real SEALs, is it that we don't have a secure relationship?
Yes. Yeah. It's troublesome, and the divorce rate's very high, and the rate of understanding is extremely difficult. They go in and per se going on a mission or an operation that's intense as going into getting bin Laden it's a big deployment, and the next day the guy comes back, and during the deployment he's putting the guy's head together that he just shot in the head, and then the next day, 24 hours later, he's getting into an argument about the trash cans or about why he can't deal with putting Christmas tree lights up on a tree. So that intense level is there, and it's just so fast and furious. But that exists, yes, and we hang our hat on the authenticity of it. We hang our hat on the emotional highs of it. We try to strip our feelings away from it. But it's tough when you go through some scenes like this and you have a better understanding of the veteran who's in the room with you, or the Delta Force guy who is sitting there listening to it and says, that resonates very true to me.
All right, so now that you're here, let's do the whole "this is your life" thing. Let's go back. Let's go back
in time, shall we?
In a bunch of interviews, you explained that you didn't come from a traditional acting background. So what made you think that you could do it? What gave you the confidence?
Wow, I mean, I just enjoyed being around my parents and my dad, who had a kids show in Buffalo, New York, and kind of brought up in that, what does your dad do for a living? He commands a rocket ship with puppets and robots, man. And I was like, whoa, this is cool. 4 years old, man. I get to go to this Buffalo, New York, and he's doing this kid show, and I'm behind the scenes, and it's like Commander Tom, Dave Thomas and Rocket Ship 7, and you get bit a little bit early, that sense of Rumpelstiltskin, and, as a kid, you're with my two older sisters doing plays for my mom and my dad, them laughing and whatnot. And as they progressed in age, it was all about sports, and then sports turned into doing some plays. And then when I first came to New York, seeing plays, and I remember seeing Yul Brynner on the stage in Philadelphia, and The King and I, and he came out like the king, and I was like, I want to be that guy. Just affected by certain individuals or people that you see. No, I wasn't classically trained. I'm not. I didn't study acting at a university or go to Oxford. I wasn't that guy. I loved Sam Shepard stuff and stuff that I could relate to, like Cowboy Mouth. It was just a one long act of just a crazy play I did. So, I just kind of found it in college a little bit, and I studied film, and but inside, I really wanted to act and do that. And when I went to California, it was a lot of crazy odd jobs and sleeping downtown and on couches. But for me, the drive is when someone says, you're not going to do that. That's like impossible. That's never going to happen. So in my head, I'm like, I have a dream. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to succeed. But how do I do that? I got to work hard, which means I got to take the ego out, and I have to go and do the small steps to get to the bigger gains. Because I can't just go from here to here without any technique. So I had to learn the technique of it and work in improvisational theater with a great gentleman by the name of Stephen Book, who taught me Viola Spolin theater games, for which you use and you do scenes with space props, and you feel the space, and you're in the space, and you walk in it, and you're using space props to create a scene. And what's your objective? Here, here, and here. Did you do that? Yes or no? Sit down. Technique, you get that in. And then the other side of it is being ready after those 2.5 years. It's just being lucky and being in the right place at the right time. I mean, I was very, very lucky to work on some really great, cool commercials, and some great directors. And I always got the beer commercials and the Pepsi commercials. I did a Zima commercial.
Ooh.
I mean, who drinks that shit, man? I don't know. But it was this commercial, and their people are drinking Zima, and it's like, all of a sudden, the women are drinking Zima, and then it's like you're in the blue clouds, in the blue skies and the clouds, and there I appear, and I'm like, with a Zima bottle, and I'm like, and they're like, wow, you two drink Zima. You can see a guy in the sky drinking a Zima. Yeah, that was odd. And then I was lucky. I mean, when I got Buffy, it was, for me, I was just walking my dog. I literally was walking my dog in West Hollywood. I was in an apartment close to West Hollywood. I'm walking my dog. This guy is like, trying to pick me up. So I found out. I didn't know that. I'm just like, dude, I'm walking my dog. I'm not that part. Sorry. God bless you. I'm all good. Then I find out the second day, I go in, and this was the guy. And he's my manager, Tom Parziali, who's here, who I'm still with. Yeah, and he says, "Oh my God." "Oh my God." And I'm like, "What are you looking at, bro?" So I sat with him. He's like, "You got to go. I have this part, Marcia Shulman. I know her very well. This is part for Angel. You could be this, whatever." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Just give me the sides, man. Whatever." I just wanted to act. So I got the sides, and the breakdown was this 242-year-old vampire with a conscience, but he's a prize fighter. He's like Joe Louis. You can knock him down, but he's always going to get up. I'm like, I like the boxing part of that. And the vampire part, I'm like, I don't give a shit, man. It pays, let's go, man. I'm in. I'm sleeping on couches. I'm in. So I go in and I meet the casting director, really sweet. And for about an hour and a half, we talked about restaurants in New York. That's all we talked about. Food in the city. Food in New York. Italian, being Italian, right? And she's like, "Oh, I guess we should read the part." And I'm like, damn, damn, I thought I'd just get the part on my personality only.
Well, wait,
And I'm like sweating, going, oh shit, okay, here we go.
wait, can we go back a little bit? Wait, what were you wearing on that dog walk? What were you looking like?
Oh, okay, you want like a visual?
I mean, I want the whole visual. I mean, he had to have seen something about him. I mean...
Well, I was just like this tall, lanky kid who's just walking around with a dog.
Were you in shorts? Did you have a Crystal Gale shirt on? I mean, what were you wearing?
This was a long time ago. I don't remember.
Don't remember. Oh.
But then again, in this time and age, you can't say, I don't remember, so...
Right, oh...
Okay, I had to say it. I mean, Jesus Christ. Fuck, again, you say something and you're being policed.
Oh, wait, do you know what a devil's triangle is? Do you know what that is?
It's a quarters game.
Okay, it's a quarters game. Okay.
So, it's so cruel. So cruel. So, I am wearing a bathing suit, flip-flops, and a tank top.
Now you're talking.
And I look like 140 pounds, and I got no muscle on, and I'm just probably really stoned. But I didn't inhale. I would like to put that down in the record.
All right, so you told the New York Times back in the day.
I'm not done my story yet.
Okay, wait. Well, this will lead into
I
it.
proceeded to take my shirt off, but I'll stop.
All right. You said for me, what I was doing with Buffy and Angel, it was all about the pain and the torture and the sense of being in the alleyway. Not to take anything away from it, but those were some learning, hard, difficult times when I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
It's very true. I didn't know what the F I was doing, man. I really, it's like this character was just this quiet dude who just was like lurking in the corners, man. And at one point I'm like, Joss, is this guy gonna fucking talk or what, man? So, oh yeah, he does. Don't worry, he does. He talks. Okay, where's my, I look at my line and it just says, hey. I'm like, wow, man. I got a long way to go. Hey. Got a long way to go. Second scene, Angel enters out of the shadows. He looks at Buffy and says, why? No, it gets better. Why me? Now I have 2 lines. So that gradually picks up. So before you know it, I'm talking with really cool hair and a cool leather coat. I'm getting paid, and I'm talking more. And then this romance happens, and it's like Romeo and Juliet, and all these Shakespearean tones, and it blows up, and I get a spin-off, and I'm like, now I'm really talking. Hey. Now I am talking. Now, watch out. Then I learn, I become evil. I freaking, make love, and I'm a bad dude. Watch out. Angelus has got a lot to say, and he's not happy. Because I got monologues now. And they're ripe. And I love them.
All right, so I know a lot of fans and of course publications, and we were guilty of it too at EW. There was a lot made of your square jaw, your action hero physique, and you were on people's most beautiful list. I mean, looking back, did the objectification get to be a little too much? Oh my gosh, and maybe not to them, but to you.
Next question. This is good times.
All right.
I can make her laugh. All right. Simmer down. Why?
Do you want to skip on? Should we go?
Why me?
Why me? It was a why me? It was a total why me? All right.
3 lines.
All right, since it was ultimately, bottom line, a show about vampires, can you remember any really silly, ridiculous arguments with the director about the silliest frickin' things, like the way that, I don't know. There had to have been some surreal discussions that you had.
Well, there's demons and people in prosthetics and makeup coming out all over the world. You're like the exploding centipede or like the hellmouth opens, and it's just an average day on the set of Buffy. So no, we didn't have crazy things that happened. Not at all. It was never a day that I don't think that was it's just a exploitation of like practical jokes, which was actually very funny to be a part of, whether that was, hiding behind the demons, scaring the shit out of people, taking severed hands and putting them in chairs or whatnot. I think when Sarah and I worked, what was great was okay, we have to do a makeout scene. Well, who's going to have onions in their mouth? Silly things like that. I mean, silly things. I don't know. And that's the biggest question everybody asks. Were there any practical jokes on set? I'm I really don't remember. It just was funny. It was a funny time. It was a big time for a lot of people in that era. And when that show went, it was popular, and it was a cult show that just blew up. And I don't think a lot of us really knew how to handle that at times. We all went separate ways. So I was just so proud to be a part of that ride, and I owe so much to those people, to Joss, to David Greenwald, to Marcia Shulman, to my manager, to everybody who helped me along the way there. So when you go from one line to a spinoff, it's pretty good, I'd say.
So when you're at a store, you're handing over the money, the gal looks at you. Is that the role you're most recognized for?
This is a good question. I mean, I get the angel, I get the Angelus, I get the Booth, the cocky, belt buckle swinging dude with crazy socks, the Brennan, the Bones banter. It's fantastic to have the Jason Hayes and SEAL team humbleness and awareness from our veterans and coming up to you saying, what you've done has changed my life. You're so accurate with your depiction of the character. So it really varies, wherever I'm at.
What do you think about the idea of rebooting Buffy with a new cast?
I know everyone's going to say, no, come on, guys. It's a good thing. Come on, hold on. Let's just embrace, I know, but think about it this way. I mean, I'm very happy for them. I think that they want to embrace a new generation, something new. See, everybody wants old. They want to go back, which I can understand. You want to see us back in these roles, which is great. It's cool, but things move on, stories evolve, times change, and I think it's a great opportunity for a reboot like this to show where we are in society now, and what you can do with technology, and how you can explore those relationships with the same types of metaphors. So I'm all for it. I think it's fantastic. Good for them, and I hope that it becomes huge and successful and does what it does. And I'm sure there are people out there, I wish it was really you guys and you were doing it. But you have to realize, we started it. So we're proud of that. And if somebody can step in my shoes and play my character, go ahead, man. I think that's great. Because I ain't putting that makeup on no more. It's like watching a kid get older and you're like, dude, you're done.
That's so nice.
You get one word. Sorry,
it's
bud.
like you're the exception, not the rule. You're not possessive of Angel. That's very cool.
No, the character was a fantastic character to play. I share him with people. I did great shows with him, and I learned. So somebody else wants to go and do it, go ahead. Go. How many people play Batman? How many people play, superheroes? And I mean, you go out across the board now. We're just tons of superhero movies. It's to a point where it's like, who's going to be a superhero? The flying shoe turns into somebody, and he's got powers, but he's mean, and the laces turn into this serpent. What? The green laces. That's great. It comes from the DC world, man. It's fantastic. He was a detective, but yet he becomes the laces. It's amazing, man. And he lives in Gotham and he fights Batman. When did he meet him? What are we doing? There's a lot going on.
All right, let me ask a quick Bones question. So that found a different audience, you would think, but then the viewers end up shipping you and Emily. Were you surprised by that? And how much did that get in the way of telling good stories about really dead bodies?
Wait, you said they shipped us?
They shipped you. They shipped the heck out of them.
They what?
I mean, do I need to say it? You guys say it. How much?
Oh, they did, yes. Okay, well, when we... Okay. Oh, the relationship. I'm like, you said something about a ship. I'm like, where are we going?
Do you not know?
Jose and I are not going on a ship. That would be a problem,
shipping
man.
tour?
If I got on a ship with her, I'd go crazy. I'd jump off the fucking boat, man. She'd be talking my ear off, and I'd be like, I'm out of here. See you,
yes,
bye.
Shipping.
Oh, okay. No, when the show started, it was so important for the relationship to grow. The network saw it as a show that was really about like this X-File-y kind of thing. They were just coming off the X-Files, and they wanted to recreate. Everybody wants to recreate what is successful instead of creating. And I say this to you, create your own stories, create your own character. Don't settle for being in a shoebox, man. They tell you to do a scene, and bring your stuff to the scene, like challenge it, make a move during a rehearsal, and like, well, that's cool. That dude just did that, or she like be yourself, be inventive. Don't be a traffic cop. I mean, that's just boring. I mean, you got to spark it up. So that's what it was all about: relationship. And seasons went on. They saw that. We created it. They got excited. They wrote for it, and hence we created this great relationship that I think I'm so proud of that relationship. It's a great relationship in television history.
All right, we're going to ask, if you want to ask some questions, here's the mic right here. We'll take a couple of them. As they line up, I got one for you. So women are always asked, what is the male role that they want to play? So I'm going to turn it on him. What is the female role that you would love to play?
Good question. Okay, the female role I would like to play. Probably anything that Ava Gardner did.
Oh, the old stuff, the old school stuff. That's nice.
Yeah, I'm an old school.
That's
I'm a
nice.
sucker for old Hollywood. I love Ava Gardner. She was awesome.
Okay. All right, let's start with you right here.
Hi, hello.
Hi.
Huge fan, like everyone.
Sorry?
Huge fan.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
My
Sorry
friend.
about that.
Man with eyes on hat.
Yeah. This is just more like a small request. An Angel, you were asked to do a karaoke of a song.
Yes.
Is it possible to sing Mandy?
No, sorry. But it's a nice try. I respect you for asking so much.
Was Mandy, the song Mandy?
I mean, that
was Mandy.
Oh, Mandy. No, that was Mandy. I had to sing it in the karaoke bar or something.
Yeah.
But they're like, you got to sing it really bad. Well, I'm like, that's easy.
He did a little bit of it.
Yeah, I was happy.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
fine. Okay.
All right.
Thank you for your question and your bravery.
Next.
You get a nice little pamphlet on the way out.
Hi, David.
How are you?
I've been with you since Angel. I'm a big fan of yours, but Jason Hayes is clearly my favorite character of yours from
Thank
the
you,
get-go.
man. Appreciate it.
I'm a big fan of yours and a big fan of the SEALs. Did you guys, you and the cast, did you feel any pressure at the beginning? Like you said, in portraying these superheroes, did you feel pressure to get it right, for the audience and for them?
Yes, I mean, authenticity and working with these guys, these tier one operators, from Mark to Tyler, is that you have a sense of responsibility for that. So we really dug into their brains and their minds and listened to their stories, as we do with every scene and every infill and exfill that we do, coming off Blackhawks. Yeah, it's a very intense, and it's a lot of pressure because you want to get it right. Yeah.
I'm not going to make you sing either, so
Thank you.
Next, right over here.
Hi, David.
Hi.
Yay, SEAL team!
Yeah, I love it. Look, you're ready to go. You're ready to spin up.
So I had like a PTSD question, but you guys answered everything, so thank you for that. But my other question was, your previous role, your role as like a family man with bones, you were like the strong family man, and now you're kind of like the estranged divorcee. Yeah. After spending all that time on the set, does that do you carry that at home with you? Like, does that affect how you feel towards your own family?
That's a really good question. I mean, I think you have to be able to desensitize yourself and be able to cut that off. But it does. I think that's a really good question. We as actors and actresses portray things, but you have to kind of like remove it and dissolve yourself, because when you're in it for 12 hours a day and you're into these intense emotional scenes, You just got to take a step out. There's an exercise for that, actually, that I learned from Stephen Book, is you bend over and you I do this thing, and you tap your head and your forehead, and you're like, oh, David's back.
It's like a grounding exercise.
Yeah, very grounding exercise. What the subject matter with this character is so intense that usually a glass of wine does wonders. I will say that. It really works.
Next question over here.
Hi. My question is actually during the two videos, the two scenes that they showed, I noticed that you weren't watching the screen and you weren't watching the audience, and I was just wondering what was going through your head when those two scenes were playing and we were all sitting here watching.
Watching the screen here, yes.
Yeah,
what was going through my head?
Yeah,
What's it like having your studio audience?
Well, I just was looking at the scene. I mean, I know you're all there.
Okay.
But what's going on in my head? Well, I was feeling the emotions. I remember shooting the scenes, especially the last one with Alana, which she was just great. I love her. It's a very emotional scene for me internally, so I could feel the emotions of it. But,
I saw that, and I found it interesting that you weren't watching the audience to see what our reaction would be.
Yeah, you didn't do that.
Why are you not doing anything?
Okay, next question.
But can you understand that?
Yeah,
response? I think that you know what? I think as an artist, you have to be so comfortable in your own skin that you just do your work. You're proud of your work. And you walk, and that's it. And everyone's going to have opinions, whether they like it or hate it. That's fine. But that's what's great about it, is you always want to get better. You always want to, you want to be able to take constructive criticism. You want to look at it, and you want to examine it and say, how could I attack that better? So I appreciate your question.
Hey.
Hey. Oh, hey. Hey now. Hey now, how are you? 4 words.
I'm great. I just want to say thank you for making your on-screen characters Flyers fans. Okay. I appreciate that a lot. And I was wondering what you think of the team this year.
Flyers.
Woo!
She's like, what the hell's that?
No idea what you're talking about. Okay.
Ice sports.
Oh, ice hockey.
Okay, fine.
Thank you. You next.
Yeah. No,
you do. Oh, that was your question. Yeah, you just wanted to comment. I'm so sorry.
No,
Go ahead.
I wanted to know what he thinks of the team this year and how we're going to do.
Oh.
The team's going to be fantastic. They're about, I think, 2 years away. They got a good young forward that's up, a center, Russian kid, skilled, not that
Misha.
fast. Yes. Defensively pretty sound. Goaltending, again, kind of an issue down the stretch, but we'll see.
Cool. Thanks.
Hey, David. I'm a very big Green Lantern fan. First off, you're always my number one choice for live action, Hal Jordan.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely, man.
Well, I got to wear a green outfit with a lantern, right?
I mean, not whatever Ryan Reynolds did, something a little more classier than that.
Or do what?
Something a little more classier than Ryan Reynolds, I think, a little bit.
Come on, he's a good actor.
No, he's a great actor. I just like costume.
I don't know the costume, man. I don't know.
But,
I'm assuming it's green, right?
Yeah, I think so, at least. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about your voice acting work on the New Frontier Justice League movie.
That was a great experience. I mean, I love doing it. It was, voiceover work is so different than doing, stage or film or television work. You're actually doing lines, and you can do read over of lines. You can do different intentions on them. So it's repetitive work that you hit certain marks on the page, and it's a bit desensitized because you're watching, and you're not really there. It's interesting work, but I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
We have to end this. Do you want to walk off the stage singing Mandy, or how do you want to handle it?
I think I'm going to walk off the stage with my shirt off.
Yes!
That's never going to happen.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end. You can subscribe here to subscribe to the channel. There's more videos off to the left. Mr. J says, don't forget to ring that bell button for more notifications.